So the lungs can expand in all directions, but the abdomen can't. It's pretty well a constant volume. And what happens on the in-breath, there's a contraction top to bottom. On the in-breath, the diaphragm, top diaphragm comes down, the top and bottom diaphragm holds against that or even rises slightly to stabilize that coming down. So there's, if you think of a balloon as the abdomen, it's contracting top to bottom, and then that gives the expansion to the sides. It's not like, oh, we expand the abdomen. That's not how it works. Muscles contract. The muscles of the diaphragm are contracting, the muscles of the back are contracting, the muscles of the pelvic floor contracting, and this gives this contraction top to bottom, and the result of that is an expansion in all different directions. So this particular dynamic, this contraction in the body that produces the in-breath, and all of the muscles of the ribs, of the diaphragm connecting up to the neck, connecting to the muscles of the abdomen. On the in-breath, they are contracting. The diaphragm, the muscles are contracting to pull it down, the muscles in the ribs are contracting to lift it. So there is a contraction to open the lungs, but in that contraction the lungs can open in all directions. But the quality of contraction is edited out of our consciousness on the in-breath, because if we perceived it as a contraction, it would inhibit the feeling of, oh, I'm expanding, to bring the breath in. And as people are generally just, the breath is, arriving through the nose, through the sinuses, and arriving into the lungs. Breathing in that way, without the extra dynamic of holographic breathing, you can just have that experience of a expansion. But as soon as this dynamic of the jaw happens, then you start having the facility of also experiencing the contraction, and not just through the chest but through the whole body and every cell, the contraction that produces the expansion. In every cell, contracting, the muscles of the cell, whatever it is, contracts in one direction, produces an expansion in the other direction. And it's seen in the movement of jellyfish, frogs. We've done it with fish, dolphins and whales in different things, but we're going to be working a bit with that, because the spine, you can feel the sideways and back to front, but it is longitudinally, so you can experience the contractions top and bottom much more easily. And there is an imbalance in people's breathing. Just checking if anybody else is joining. There is an imbalance in people's breathing, whether it is because of the society we live in or how we are. Generally, people have a propensity to be more in the in-breath. People are more aware of breathing in, generally, and in yoga and different things, and especially recently with many different techniques at the minute that are becoming very public. They're bringing people into the out-breath. And for me, in holographic breathing, I don't know about our normal breathing, but in holographic breathing, the in-breath activates the arterial blood, and the out-breath relates to the venous blood. And for me, they are equal poles of the same thing. It's like the arterial blood is more fire. It's like it relates to Mars. The venous blood, it's even called venous blood, relates to Venus, and there's a more male quality to the fiery energy of the red blood, and there's a more female quality to the venous blood. And it's often thought of, the venous blood is often thought, well, that's just rubbish going away to be thrown out of the body, but it's a very important energy and equally as important as the red blood. And also having the awareness on the in-breath causes people to overbreathe, because they, I need to get more oxygen, I need to get more oxygen. And that's what happens. To get more oxygen, but there becomes a deficit of carbon dioxide in the venous blood, and when that, and so that balance goes out of alignment. And then as soon as you overbreathe or have your awareness on the in-breath, you get more oxygen, the capillaries and arteries contract, so it's harder for the blood to flow through the body, and the cells close down, they stop absorbing that oxygen. As soon as there's a higher percentage of oxygen in the blood, the capillaries and arteries contract, the cells cut down the amount of oxygen flowing into them. So if you actually want to get an adequate supply of oxygen to your cells, you need the in-breath and the out-breath balanced. You need the right percentages of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the blood. As soon as more carbon dioxide comes into the blood, the arteries expand. The flow can go more easily. The cells automatically, as soon as there's more carbon dioxide in the blood, the cells automatically open to receive the oxygen. The whole process works better. So, and this often happens with asthma, you're gasping for breath, so you're taking in more and more breath, and everything closes down, all the capillaries and the whole breath closes down, because you're getting too much oxygen. But you build up the carbon dioxide, everything relaxes, everything grounds. And that is important, because it's a bit like this expansion in both ways. For me, it kind of brings people into the in-breath, because there's this nice expansion out to the sides and back and front on the in-breath, and people go towards that. But the expansion in the longitudinal breath and through the spine and through the arms and legs, the expansion is on the out-breath. So people are automatically more drawn to the out-breath. And this gives a relaxation. It gives a grounding. There's a grounding and a sinking to the out-breath, and there's a rising and connecting to the higher energies on the in-breath. So when we connect to the lengthening on the out-breath, we drop into relaxation, we ground, we become, it brings people in contact with the venous blood and the qualities of the venous blood, and the breath becomes longer and slower. You're not taking in so much oxygen. The oxygen and carbon dioxide balance, and then the arteries open, the cells open, and the whole process works much better. So on including this third dimension in the breath, for me it balances this perceived unbalance, which maybe they're just because of modern times, I don't know. But it's nice by having this third dimension of the breath, it automatically deals with it.